Hello, I'm Doug Henschen, Constellation Research Vice President and Principal Analyst covering data to decisions.
And I'm Dion Hinchcliffe, Vice President and Principal Analyst covering future of work on CIO issues. And we're your hosts for episode 73 of Constellation Research TV. As usual, we'll begin our show covering the news and trends in enterprise technology.
That's right, Dion. And then after the news, we'll share your report on AI and the digital experience. And then finally, Dion will be joined by our colleague Liz Miller to share a preview of Constellation's Ambient Experience Summit set for Austin, Texas from February 26th through 28th.
All right, so let's get to the news. Let's bring in Constellation Research Insights. That's our new news offering. You would definitely go to constellation.com and get that. Let's bring in Larry Dignan, who is Editor-in-Chief.
Hey, Larry. What's going on?
What's going on? Lots of earnings and a lot of cloud intel from the hyperscalers. I think the biggest takeaway I had is that era of optimization is now over. Of
cost optimization, you mean, right?
Yeah, well, SaaS and basically infrastructure, software, service, the whole thing. If you remember coming out of the pandemic, people overspent on the cloud, and then we sort of had the belt tightening where they were optimizing cost and all that good stuff. Now, keep in mind, cloud customers should always be optimizing costs, but we'll skip that over. But yeah, AWS, they saw some revenue growth in terms of accelerating sequentially. Microsoft had that, and as did Google Cloud. So it seems like the customers are, they're migrating again to the cloud. They are spending on AI workloads, which seems to be, kind of a different animal for each hyperscaler. For, Microsoft, it's the Copilot game, but they're really playing for Azure workloads. AWS, they're seeing more pilots of Q and that sort of stuff take it off. But AWS is also about the workloads, really. And then there's Google Cloud, which has its AI platform that's doing pretty well too, and that's getting them workloads. So you're seeing this across the board. It looks like cloud growth will probably be reaccelerating again. Microsoft Azure seemed to indicate they'll be at that 30% clip. Google Cloud didn't get too specific, but they seem to be in that 26 to 30% growth. And AWS, which is working off way bigger numbers, they're probably about 13% or so and might accelerate from there. So it's just an interesting time. There's still, a bunch of questions about the Copilot stuff. That's the line item I would love to see broken out. Like, how much are people paying for Copilots? How discounted is it? Or is it just a feature that's wrapped into other stuff?
Well, we're definitely hearing from CIOs, we're definitely hearing that the cost is significant. So if you're a company with 20,000 employees, 50,000 employees, and you're looking at a $2, $5, or $10 million a year bill to bring generative AI copilots to your workers, that's really giving people pause. They want to see that the results are there. They know that coders and maybe marketing team and maybe customer service can really benefit from those investments right away, but can everybody else? And they want to see the numbers before they make those investments. But Larry, how much of this do you think is just the fact that we've had this tremendous run up in the market? And I'm talking about the results from the hyperscalers. The market's doing really good. It's overheated by many estimates. We know that a series of rate cuts are coming. The good old days will be here by the middle of the year. How much is this market momentum, or how much of this is fundamentals?
I think it's probably more fundamental, just because I don't know if all the CIOs out there monitor the S&P 500 and go, hey, I'm spending more on the cloud. Because the other thing is the market's being driven by basically 4 or 5 companies. If you look at the S&P 500 for outside of the big guys, the other, 495 companies or so, they're all struggling. I mean, it's a full-blown bear market there, and that's where all the layoffs and all that stuff are happening. So I'm a little wary of the whole economic thing because I'm not sure I trust the numbers at this point. I just think it's a natural ebb and flow. They pulled back and now customers are spending more. I do think the generative AI spending has to be resolved in a big way, because I think you're right. I think a lot of customers are going to look at these Copilot upcharges and be like, get out of here, or it's not worth it, or it's worth it for certain departments, not others.
Your opening supposition there that I would kind of challenge the idea that the cost optimization is over. I think that there's still definitely going to be cost optimization, but we never saw shrinkage, right? The clouds were decelerating. Their growth was not as rapid, and now it's re-accelerating.
Well, it's a question of what it re-accelerates to.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, I don't know, I don't necessarily buy I think this phase of the optimization is done. I don't know what that looks like in the future. Like, I think they should always optimize. But I think it's sort of, people got stupid. Like, they bought the cloud, they forgot to turn off instances. Like, a lot of this optimization was just
well, they were just bringing back over provisioning. They were curtailing it, but they were making investments in FinOps and cloud cost management in a significant way. But I saw Andy Jassy say that we're seeing cost optimization coming to an end. We're seeing migrations beginning, but I believe that's a self-serving statement. I believe there's a lot of work being done. We hear this in our CIO conversation saying, I'm trying to figure out the smartest place to put workloads. And the whole conversation we saw about private cloud last year being a significant area where people are saying, bringing back always on workloads or high performance computing workloads or AI workloads that are always on. There's no question if you have a workload that's always on, cloud often doesn't make sense because you're paying for their profit margin on top of the base operating case. And so,
right.
Yeah,
I mean, AWS said that. I believe Microsoft and Google Cloud said something similar. I think it was Amy Hood who said, the CFO for Microsoft mentioned something like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah. So on my end, one of my two coverage areas is future of work. We saw the release of what could potentially be the next major wave of computing. On Friday, Apple Vision Pro began to deliver in stores and reach people's homes. And so I spent the weekend watching social media, watching the new subreddit on Apple Vision Pro, as thousands of people received their new spatial computing devices. Now, Apple's positioning this as the next major wave of computing, and they were there for most of them. They brought personal computers to command lines. They then brought the graphical user interface with the Mac in 1984. They brought that to market, and then they brought mobile and with iOS. And now they're arguing that it's time for a new paradigm that's much higher resolution, much more immersive. And I've been tracking the whole immersive work trend, and it's fascinating to see. They sold out of the first run of Apple Vision Pros in 18 minutes. Now, admittedly, if you look at the graphical user interface, it took 8 years for that to really take off, that whole category. And we saw that Microsoft adopted it, and IBM adopted it, and it became eventually mainstream computing. And it was fascinating to watch. There are a lot of people who are not sure what to do with it, but there also are a lot of people who say, look, I travel all the time. I want a wall of screens when I get to my hotel room. I want to be able to, you just look at your MacBook and there's a way to connect the screen right into the Apple Vision Pro. So I think financial types that want a constant wall of information. I think people doing telemedicine want to really see their patients. Everyone has really been struck about the FaceTime. Lots of reports that FaceTime is unbelievably immersive. And it makes you feel like you're there in a way that it wasn't there before. And we saw so many videos over the weekend of people using these in all kinds of settings out in the real world, because it actually brings a heads-up display of the real world. It's mixed reality, not just virtual reality. They brought both AR and VR together. And so
I must admit, I saw the Apple ad with a guy flopping down on his couch and looking up.
Exactly.
And that was compelling. But Dion, I think you're right in pegging financial types, because you got to have some serious finance to get into this proposition?
Well, it's a work device, but I think it's going to take a little while to take off. But there's a lot of questions like, are they going to create a successful new category? Are they going to mainstream it? And I think especially since we know that the second generation of the device will be significantly cheaper, that there's a good chance that, I think they've managed to pull it off one more time. And based on the early uproar, we're seeing a lot of people said, well, I thought about returning it the first day, but by the third day, I was using it all the time. And there are certain concerns about this. It is a heavy device. It is smaller than most people think, but it's got a lot of processing power, a lot of sensors and cameras packed into it. It's heavy. It's a heavy device, and everyone says that. That's going to be a challenge. But this is the 1.0, and some of the advances that they've baked into this, like when you get into FaceTime, the fact that your face is covered, they actually create a simulated persona for you that is really quite compelling. A lot of people sharing videos of the personas. They're the best that have ever been created, but they're not perfect. They're way better than the little emojis that you get.
Larry and I are grinning about that one.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a damn thing until Doug does. I'm going to be a very smart follower.
Let's get back to enterprise dealings. For my part, I took note of what was really a tiny tuck-in acquisition announced last week by Databricks, but it's indicative of a larger trend. So the company Databricks acquired was Einblick, which, as I say, tiny company, not many people know who it is. It was not a material deal to the company's results, so the terms of the purchase were not disclosed. What Einblick offered, and what will soon presumably be integrated with Databricks, is a notebook-like analytics and data science experience that they laced with generative AI natural language interaction capabilities during 2023. Databricks described the deal as moving towards, quote, a new generation of data intelligence platforms that will provide natural language interfaces to give non-expert users access to insights and information, while also helping expert users to move much faster. So progress from Databricks, but they're far from alone. I also see an example of this trend in Google's announcement last August of its BigQuery Studio, in which Duet AI will support natural language interactions and collaboration with the data platform for both novice and experienced professional users. And it also put in mind Snowflake's October 2023 acquisition of Sisu Data, another tiny tuck-in deal, but it promises to bring more analytical capabilities to the data platform. So we'll see if Databricks' data intelligence platform, whether that term sticks. Actually, Databricks has a good track record on this trend spotting and naming, having coined the term lakehouse. But it's really clear that Gen AI is going to be a key catalyst in bringing us broader data platforms with more built-in analytical and data science capabilities. Guys, any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it's been interesting, Doug. I've been working with our various CIO roundtables that I'm a member of. And what we saw broadly is that CIOs already had major investments in data science, analytics, and BI. And that whole pipeline of opening up all the different enterprise applications, making that data available, putting it into data platforms, putting it into end user analytics tools like Tableau, that was already well established, and that was a good place for them to put AI. And so the marriage of data management and AI is a very natural one, and it's one that CIOs feel like, hey, I've already been investing in that infrastructure and that pipeline and that delivery model, and instead of model ops growing up or ML ops growing up as a separate thing, AI is being put naturally in the data management function, and it's working really well for most of the CIOs that we speak with. And so all this, everything that you said just lines up with what we're seeing out there.
Seems like a low-risk evolution the whole way around.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's news. But stay tuned for Dion's segment on AI in digital experience, my 101 explainer on integration platform as a service and iPaaS trends. And then finally, Liz Miller will join Dion to share a preview of Constellation's Ambient Experience Summit coming to Austin, Texas, February 26th through 28th.
Welcome to the transformative world of artificial intelligence in customer experience. This is Dion Hinchcliffe, VP and Principal Analyst at Constellation Research. Today, I'll explore how generative AI is not just changing, but revolutionizing the way businesses interact with customers through digital experience. Join me on this enlightening journey through the evolution and future of customer engagement. First, let's rewind to the early 2000s. Digital customer service was emerging, primarily through websites and email. It was a time of exploration where businesses started to realize the potential of digital platforms for customer interaction. As technology progressed, we witnessed the rise of self-service portals. Customers began enjoying the convenience of solving their problems without human assistance. This era marked a significant shift towards digital autonomy in customer service. Fast forward to the late 2010s and we see a seismic shift. Digital experiences became not just a necessity, but a competitive edge. Companies with engaging, intuitive, and responsive digital platforms stood out. Industry figures indicate that engaging digital experiences can increase customer satisfaction by up to 80%. However, there's a challenge with self-service. There's always a flip side with technology. When digital experiences fall short, customers often end up seeking human assistance, leading to increased operational costs and potential customer dissatisfaction. This challenge has been a significant speed bump on the road to digital excellence. Enter generative AI. This is where AI enters the stage with a promise to revolutionize customer experience. AI in customer service isn't just about chatbots, it's about creating a seamless, intelligent, and efficient customer journey. Consider the case of Westminster City Council. By implementing 8x8's AI-driven solutions, they experienced a remarkable transformation. Using the 8x8 intelligent customer assistants, they used this AI-infused solution to redefine how their contact centers integrated AI into their customer service arsenal. They used it also to address resource barriers. ICA was designed for its ability to democratize AI deployment. Contact centers previously hindered by resource limitations were now easily able to adopt AI due to ICA's intuitive interface and scripting tools. This ease of use has opened up new doors for managing dynamic customer interactions across various industries. Solutions like ICA also address the critical issue of operational costs. Its rapid deployment capabilities, powered by ready-to-use templates, significantly reduce the time and investment required to launch AI-driven solutions. This shift not only lowers costs, but also empowers contact centers with greater IT independence. Integration complexity is another hurdle that ICA elegantly clears. With its pre-built integrations with CRM and other applications, contact centers can now deliver personalized experiences effortlessly. This capability is particularly beneficial for organizations that lack extensive IT resources. Furthermore, ICA addresses the critical need for actionable data. Its built-in analytics provide comprehensive insights, allowing contact centers to continuously refine and optimize their customer interactions. This AI-driven approach, supported by generative AI, is vital for staying ahead in rapidly evolving digital landscapes. Now, as we look to the future, it's clear that AI, as demonstrated by solutions like 8x8's ICA, is not just an option, but a necessity for modern customer service to stay competitive. It represents a paradigm shift towards a more efficient, cost-effective, and satisfying customer experience. In summary, the integration of AI in customer service, especially with tools like the 8x8 ICA, is setting new standards in digital customer engagement. With reduced costs, enhanced efficiency, and elevated customer satisfaction, AI is undeniably the cornerstone of the next generation of customer experience.
Hi, everyone. This is Dion Hinchcliffe and my partner in crime later this month, Liz Miller. We have the AXS 2024 event coming up in Austin. We are very excited about it. We might even have a couple of seats. So DM one of us if you'd like to see if there's a chance to get in. But please, Liz, you've been doing a lot of work on this already this
event. I can't wait for it.
Kick off what's going to happen in Austin, and I'll add some of the things I think we're going to have happen.
I'm really looking forward to it. So this is the fourth time we're getting the club together, I guess is the best way I can describe it. This kicked off in Atlanta, Georgia, right before the world turned sideways. We decided to start having this conversation around what we refer to as ambient experiences. So it's those experiences that you just want to have happen. You know, it's that you wake up and your account's taken care of. You just know where your packages are. Things just occur in this digital world. And how do we make that happen? And after that very first event, we realized, well, a big part of how we have this modern, digitally enabled, data-rich, AI-empowered customer experience is by making sure that our employee experience is also on point. So the Ambient Experience Summit really evolved, and it kind of became what it is today, which is a really unique offering. And I continue to hear from all of our attendees year over year that they don't get to have conversations like this in other locations because we kind of separate the employee and the customer experience folks a lot. But this time we bring everybody into a room. This year in Austin, we're going to start out by doing something that in many cities is highly illegal.
Oh, really? What is that? I can't wait to hear what this is. What illegal thing are we going to get our attendees to do?
Well, we're going to do it the legal way, but we're going to have a graffiti battle. So talk about an experience, right? But we wanted to figure out a way that we could kick things off. How do we start off our time together by doing something really creative? And I think it's something that, I think a lot of people in CX do this more like, hey, go do something like spray paint, like unlock your creativity. But I think a lot of times people who are in employee experience, they're the ones who have to create these moments and opportunities. They don't necessarily get to enjoy them. So I'm hoping we're going to have a lot of fun, but we want to unlock a whole lot of creativity. We want to get crazy. We wanted to take spray cans and make sure that we do not spray each other. We spray paint whatever.
Well, hopefully we'll have some kind of protective gear. That'll probably be too.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Some of us, but Liz, a couple of important points I think you brought out. First of all, this is an event where we do have the employee experience track and the customer experience track in the same room. I've been at a lot.
One track.
I've been on charities conferences, and we're afraid traditionally to mix these audiences because a lot of people think that they're so different. But we know, you and I both believe that they're part of a single continuum. That we've got to be building digital experiences for everyone. They should be inclusive. They have to be able to bridge that divide. Employees have to talk to customers. Customers have to talk to employees. Why were we going to build everything twice? Have two different teams. So we really
strategic.
That's the premise of this. But the other piece you mentioned, Liz, that is so important is AI. I think that everyone wants to talk about that. That was
is it a thing now?
Very big thing, and that's going to be. Yeah, can you believe it? I think people still want to talk about AI this year, and so we have all sorts of discussions that will be scheduled on stage. A lot of our attendees will be up there talking about how. But
I'm not going to lie, Dion. Our very first panel is actually a panel called "The Panel You Can't Say AI." So we're going to talk about the future. We want to talk about the future of customer experience.
Well, I think we can use different language. I think we have to.
I'm going to throw things at people's head. If they come up and say, well, let's talk about large language models and machine learning, I'm going to be like, no, we're talking about something that has to have to do with AI. So we're going to hope we get there. But I think you touched on something that I think we really need to double tap on. And I want to make sure that you and I get a chance to share this, which is a lot of times we separate these groups of employee experience and customer experience. But the reality is unless they both start talking to each other much sooner, especially at the C-suite, especially at the senior level, like the folks that we have joining us in Austin, we're just going to keep experience as this tactical checklist that we keep executing, and it will not actually be a strategic measure. I think the more that we treat our colleagues in HR, the more we treat our colleagues in digital and in IT as strategic partners in our capacity to expand what experience truly is for the business, that's where the magic comes from. But if we keep separating everyone into their little fiefdoms that turns everyone into the land of no, we're just going to keep executing the same things the same way. So I think that's what a lot of the conversations we have. I mean, Dion, you've got a great panel talking about how CIOs and IT really need to be brought into this conversation and potentially even bridge the gap that we have between the two.
Well, and IT has to step up too. Digital experience has been kind of thought of as an afterthought in how the IT delivers what it does. But experience is the most important boundary to our stakeholders, and we have to get. That is the future of business: is delivering through experiences. That's where value creation happens, value exchange happens, and so we want, I think, the technology side, the business side, to come together. Make sure that we don't have those fiefdoms, those silos, that we connect them all together. And we're going to be talking about that. We've done this the last several AXS 2020 series we've had so far. I think it's going to be. I can't wait to see what people have come up with. I know we have some repeat attendees, and see
dive in time. Yeah, it's dive in time. We roll up our sleeves. We work out some problems. We have a great workshop. Little design think, little let's break through some of those empathy barriers. We're gonna try to do a couple things. But yeah. I hope to see you all in Austin. Like Dion said at the top of this, we do have a couple seats that are still available. Not a whole lot of hotel rooms. So if you do want to come, DM us right away. Or we're not going to be, you're staying someplace else.
And if you can't make it, please track all the action on social at AXS 2024.
Well, that's a wrap for episode 73 of CRTV. Get set for our next episode in 2 weeks.
That's right. Co-hosts Holger Mueller and Liz Miller will bring you episode 74 of CRTV next time. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and on Twitter at ConstellationR and at the hashtag CRTV Show.
And don't forget to subscribe to Constellation Research TV on YouTube and subscribe to CR Insights at ConstellationR.com to keep up with Larry Dignan's enterprise news coverage. Thanks for watching and have a great week. Larry's not in here until we invite him.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Sure, Larry appreciates
that. Just to make Larry to feel better. No, Larry, you're always welcome to the party.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, I like one and done. My favorite.
All right. Have fun with Liz. That'll be the bloopers.
Yeah, exactly.
Liz comes in, we got all the bloopers we need.
What's happening? Should we do this? What do we need? It's very weird being on this. Oh, thank God, Hannah. Hannah understands I really struggle. Holger has somehow trained me that I can't be on that side of the screen, and it freaks me out.
I've never had the control, so I didn't know you could actually control the side.
Oh yeah, Hannah can flip you all around, and when Holger and I do this, we'll originally go up, and it looks so strange that the two of us have to stop for a minute and be like, what's wrong with the interface? Has StreamYard changed something? And then we realize is that Hannah hasn't swapped us. And so then we go, it's like,
well, good. Well, you get the side that you probably don't get normally then. That's good.
I love it.